Now on Sunrise and streaming on CrossroadsToday.com, a proposal on the May ballot that could bring a venue upgrade that could be a major game changer for the Crossroads. And confusion on tariffs that could impact the tech industry. The latest, that's just ahead. Plus a long-awaited trial. Facebook now facing the Federal Trade Commission in a trial. We'll tell you how that could change the company.
And I hope you all got into the warm weather we had last week, because that is still here for us all week long, alongside some breezy winds. But this time we may have rain chances to talk about. All that in the weather coming up.
Coming up in sports, we hear from one of the premier baseball teams in Sam Kurtz following his great performance against Belashes.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads, and happy Monday. Hope you're having a great start to your week. And it is National Gardening Day.
It is National Gardening Day. I hope you're all ready for another beautiful week for your garden, because it's going to be warm.
Yeah, I need to start my garden.
Oh, do you? I've got a few things. I've got actually bluebonnets, purple coneflowers, Mexican sunflowers, even some other wildflowers as well. But yes, it is National Wildflower Day, or not Wildflower Day, Garden Day. And I'm sure those gardens are actually loving all the sunshine we had the last several days. But look at this, we have a few clouds on your screen right now. And actually, I think last Friday was the first day I had seen a cloud in like 7-8 days. It had been so sunny for such a long time, and that had brought us all the warm weather. And it's bringing us another warm one right now. We're starting out the day at 65 in Victoria. A little bit of cloud cover over us, bringing us a humidity of 87% out there right now. Not really enough to see any fog out there. You usually see that at about 92, 93% or higher. And also we have a little bit of a slight breeze kind of blowing through us right now. As you can see, wind sustained between 5 to 10 miles an hour on the average, but gusts have been reported at about 15 to 20 miles an hour at times this morning, which would provide, exactly like I said, prevent us from seeing any fog with a little bit of mixing. But it is also bringing us a bit of a warm morning. We're all starting out the day mid and upper 60s, and closer to that warm Gulf water, y'all in the low 70s. So if you're sending your kiddos out the door, or if you are, no need for a jacket. It's a little bit warm out there, and it's going to be another warm afternoon. All those details are coming up next.
The City of Victoria will host a second information session on the Victoria Community Center project. It's planned for today from 1 to 3 p.m. at the Victoria Community Center. Residents can see renderings of the Community Center expansion and renovation, speak to city officials, and also ask questions about the project and venue tax. The Victoria City Council is asking voters to pass an additional of a 5% vehicle rental tax and a 2% increase to the existing hotel occupancy tax. Residential property taxes will not be impacted. The president is clarifying the status of U.S. tariffs on electronic devices like smartphones imported from China. He wrote on social media Sunday that nobody is getting off the hook for unfair trade balances and trade barriers, especially China. The president said there was no tariff exception announced on Friday. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick also tried to clear up any confusion caused last week when Customs and Border Protection issued a rule sparing some high-tech items from the president's reciprocal tariffs. A long-awaited trial begins today, pitting Facebook versus the federal government. And barring a settlement, Mark Zuckerberg himself could be called to the stand.
This morning in a Washington, D.C. courtroom, Facebook parent company Meta will come face-to-face with the Federal Trade Commission in a landmark trial that could force the social media company to sell Instagram and WhatsApp.
Look, we're gearing up for trial. The trial's scheduled in about a month. We've got some of the FTC's best lawyers on it, and we're getting ready to go.
At issue, did Meta break competition laws when it acquired Instagram and WhatsApp? Meta's lawyers say it was regulators who approved those acquisitions more than a decade ago. And the company says competition abounds, saying the evidence at trial will show what every 17-year-old in the world knows. Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp compete with Chinese-owned TikTok, YouTube, X, iMessage, and many others. Regulators should be supporting American innovation rather than seeking to break up a great American company. The trial comes just days after a whistleblower testified on Capitol Hill, claiming the tech giant compromised national security while working with China on censorship efforts.
I saw Meta executives repeatedly undermine U.S. national security and betray American values. They did these things in secret to win favor with Beijing.
Meta calling her testimony divorced from reality. The antitrust case dates back to President Trump's first term, when Zuckerberg and Trump were locked in a bitter feud. Now it seems they've mended fences, with Zuckerberg attending and donating to Trump's inauguration, publicly praising him and ending the company's fact-checking program. Zuckerberg could take the stand at the trial, which could last up to 2 months unless a settlement is reached. The Wall Street Journal reports Zuckerberg has been lobbying the president to avoid the trial. Allison Cossack, ABC News, New York.
Victoria County Commissioners meet at 10 a.m. today. Here are some items from their agenda. They'll hear a proclamation designating the week of April 13th as National Animal Control and National Public Safety Telecommunication Appreciation Week. And they'll also consider authorizing to advertise an invitation of bids of the annual supply of road materials for all Victoria County precinct. They'll also consider approval of an MOU between the Sheriff's Office and the Gulf Bend Center in connection with the provision of mental health peace officers. They meet at 115 North Bridge Street on the second floor of the Victoria County Courthouse in room 241. The Bloomington community came together this weekend to focus on unity and fun. Residents of all ages gathered for the first inaugural Bloomington Stronger Together egg hunt. Organizers say the day was about much more than just fun and games. The Bloomington Stronger Together egg hunt was created as a way to highlight the power of unity and to remind families that building strong connections can shape a stronger future for everyone.
This is the first step of us getting our town people to do things together, giving something back to the kids, letting them have fun, and this is what our group was organized for. Just like the name of it, Bloomington Stronger Together, and that's how we can be stronger.
They hope that Bloomington Stronger Together and the egg hunt will share a message about how strong they can be when everyone comes together, especially as residents prepare to vote on May 3rd on whether or not to incorporate Bloomington into a city. And remember to follow us on YouTube Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. The time is now 6:37 on our Monday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up next on 25 News Now Sunrise. A Victoria College professor publishes a children's book. We learn more.
I'm ABC's Perry Russum in Washington. More back and forth from the Trump administration on these tariffs, this time focusing on iPhones and laptops. We have the latest coming up.
And also coming up next after the break in the short-term forecast, you heard me say it's going to be a warm one. That's right, all across Texas actually. So coming up next, I'll tell you just how warm I think it'll be near you. Well, good morning, Crossroads, and happy Monday. If you're tuning in with us this morning, you look live in Cuero, you can see we have a little bit of cloud cover starting to form over us this morning, but I promise whatever clouds are out there right now, that'll burn off right back to the sunshine. We'll look at that here in a second because starting out the day at 68 in Cuero, a tad bit warm, maybe right on the money for being pretty nice actually. Dew point though, 63, 5 degrees off, bringing that humidity to 83%, which is not enough to see fog this morning, but I do think we are going to be working with fog tonight and into tomorrow, Tuesday morning. As you can see, as early as 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, we're going to start looking at some patchy fog starting to form around the crossroads, burning off by 9 a.m. like it usually does. And then maybe some more fog that we're working with on Tuesday night and into Wednesday morning as well. So make sure that y'all are extra careful traveling over the next few mornings and nights. And otherwise, like I said, whatever clouds are out there right now, that's going to burn right back off to some sunshine like we've had for the last several days. You can see that right here. Lots of beaming sunshine for today, and that's going to bring us another warm day. So make sure that y'all are being hydrated, staying hydrated. Today we're looking for temperatures already at noontime at about 80, maybe 81 degrees. And in the afternoon, we're looking for everybody seeing highs generally in the mid 80s. Western counties may see upper 80s. But I'm thinking 85 Victoria, 87 in Cuero, and 82 today in Port Lavaca. Before overnight tonight, we'll drop lows kind of like what they're at right now. Back to the low and mid 60s, maybe on the coast, y'all might be in the upper 60s. And tomorrow it's another warm day in the mid 80s. But today in the background, we do have a slightly breezy wind, gusts get up to 20 miles, 20 to 25 miles an hour at times, bringing us a little bit of pollen to make sure that y'all take an allergy pill. But for the rest of this week, continue doing that with more breezy days before rain chances this weekend. And that's coming up next.
We continue your varsity baseball coverage with Industrial High School. And like you heard from Coach Medina, games like Friday shows that there's still plenty to play for this late in the season. And after talking to one of their players in Sam Kurtz, it looks like they're on the same page.
Pretty good. Win's a win. I mean, shoot, 5-2 puts us, I think, second in district now. Feels good. Tonight, I say I got a bit unlucky at the play. I had a couple hard hit balls, but they just didn't land. But that's it. I think we need to focus on making routine plays and moving runners on base, doing jobs, scoring easy runs.
The Industrial Cobras look to close out their season against Tidehaven later on this week. But that does it for your 25 News Now Sports. Until next time, I'm Ray Robinson.
Ahead of the stock market opening this morning, more confusion over the president's tariffs. Days after saying smartphones and laptops would be exempt, the president now says they will have tariffs soon. Now there are concerns about prices going up.
This morning, another reversal in President Trump's tariffs. Days after saying smartphones, laptops, and other electronics would be exempt from his latest round of tariffs, Trump now saying those products will be targeted soon.
That's going to be announced very soon, and we'll be discussing it. But we'll also talk to companies. You know, you have to show a certain flexibility. Nobody should be so rigid. You have to have a certain flexibility.
The president now focusing on tariffs for semiconductors, small materials used to make everything from smartphones to cars. Trump says he'll announce their tariff rate over the next week.
The tariffs will be in place in the not distant future because, as you know, like we did with steel, like we did with automobiles, like we did with aluminum, which are now fully on, we'll be doing that with semiconductors, with chips, and numerous other things.
There are wide concerns the tariffs will raise prices on American consumers. But the Trump administration says one of their overall goals is to boost manufacturing in the U.S.
We need to have semiconductors, we need to have chips, and we need to have flat panels. We need to have these things made in America.
Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren on CNN accusing Trump's tariff rollout of being loaded with chaos and corruption.
You can't get an economy strong and moving forward when it's loaded with chaos and corruption. Investors will not invest in the United States when Donald Trump is playing red light, green light.
The Trump administration says while some countries have reached out to negotiate on tariffs, right now there are no plans for Trump to speak with China's President Xi Jinping. China faces a tariff of 145%. Perry Russom, ABC News, Washington.
And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code on your screen to take part. We want to know, will tariffs on smartphones and laptops impact your future purchases? Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. And let's take a look at what y'all are saying. 67% of you say yes and 33% of you say no. A local professor recently made a transition from the classroom to the world of children's literature. Rachel Walker Wilkinson, Associate Professor of Psychology at Victoria College, celebrated a major milestone with the release of her debut children's book. The Welder Center served as the backdrop Friday for the official launch of Wilkinson's new book, Why I Do What I Do. More than just a bedtime story, Wilkinson's book offered a heartfelt and educational look at the bond between parents and their children.
It's fun, it's engaging, and it is so helpful in understanding simple things as to why we should play with children, why we do tummy time, and why we teach them those ABCs and what the engagement means and why it's so important.
Inspired by both her academic background and her personal experience as a mother of two, Wilkinson says she hopes the book will become a meaningful resource for parents, educators, and caregivers. Crossroads Today is inviting you to join in and celebrate Earth Day by showing off your doodles. Show us your best drawings of nature and the world around you. We'll share your Earth Day doodles on our social media and feature one doodle per day on Sunrise. Submissions are open now through April 25th. Just come on to crossroadstoday.com. And the time is now 6:45 on our Monday morning. Still to come on Sunrise. Russian airstrikes in Ukraine over the weekend. We have the details. All right, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Anthony. Happy 15th birthday, Anthony. Have a great day. We love you from Momo, Susie, Popo Chief, Dad Lalo, Stepmom Amber, brothers and sisters.
Oh, happy birthday, Anthony. And also happy birthday to actor, producer, screenwriter, and Wrexham Football Club owner, Rob McElhenney. He's turning 48 today. Happy birthday, Rob.
And happy birthday to Adrian Brody, the two-time Academy Award winner. His most recent for Best Actor for The Brutalist turns 52 today.
Happy 52, Adrian, and also happy birthday to Courtney. Happy 10th birthday, Courtney. Have a wonderful day. Love your Nana, Popo, and your dad. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, just head on over to crossroadstoday.com. Click the drop-down menu, then click the Home tab, and then you'll see Submit Your Birthday Photo.
All right, and a happy birthday to our very own Dave.
Aw,
David
birthday,
Sales.
Dave. That's right.
Celebrating a birthday, and the time is now 6:46 on our Monday morning. Happy birthday if you're celebrating one today.
That's right. Happy birthday. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, Crossroads. I'm sure a lot of y'all saw that 7-day forecast a few moments ago, and you saw nothing but mid-80s all week long. A couple breezy days scattered in there, and lots of sunshine as well, and also some partly cloudy days as well. We'll look at all that in a second, because today I'm thinking a high of about 85 here in Victoria. Looking at your almanac, average today this time of year is about 81 degrees, but we're about 7 degrees away from our record set in 1914. That was 92 degrees. And look at that, we got another whopping 0% chance of rain today. That's going to continue all weekend long until this weekend, and we're going to look at that here in a second. I promise you that. Because today, if you thought we were warm, look at the rest of Texas, y'all. It's going to be probably the triple digits along the Rio Grande, maybe 101 in Del Rio, maybe even 100 flat in Laredo today. But the rest of Texas is following suit, nice and warm, and we're going to be just like that for the rest of this week. And that's going to bring us a very nice round of beach weather this week. In fact, I'm looking at your beach forecast today, thinking about a high of 82, maybe 80, 81 degrees over the warm waters, which the water temperatures are 82 degrees. UV index is going to be very high today, so make sure that you all apply some sunscreen. But all that is going to lead me to today's weather poll. Today, I ask you, have you been to the beach yet this spring? And it looks like none of y'all have said you've been a few times. 26% have said you've gone once or twice. And about half and half split down the middle, 37% are saying no, but you plan to, and no, you don't plan on it. But thank y'all so much for voting on today's weather poll. For future weather polls, go to crossroadstoday.com/vote-weather for more weather polls. And I'll always read those answers on the Sunrise Show. But definitely get out there and go to the beach, because it's going to be warm all week long. But are there any changes on the forecast? Yes, we actually have a low system that is right now off the coast of California. You can see it spinning kind of clockwise. That low will move over the southern Rockies over the next several days, and that's going to bring some moisture into our atmosphere, allowing for rain chances as the low comes off the mountains on Sunday. And you're going to see that right here. The low comes off the mountains, bringing a little bit of moisture all across the state. Rain chances picking up a bit on Sunday. We'll look at all that and more later on Sunrise.
Ukraine reports a Russian drone attack in the southern Black Sea port city of Odessa. This is the second Russian attack on Ukraine over the weekend. The first left at least 34 people dead after a Russian ballistic missile strike in the Ukrainian city of Sumy on Sunday, which marked one of the deadliest single attacks on the country this year. It comes amid rising tensions between Moscow and Kyiv. Both sides have accused each other of violating a tentative U.S. brokered moratorium on attacks targeting energy infrastructure. An Israeli attack has destroyed part of the last functioning hospital in Gaza City. No casualties were reported in the attack on the hospital early Sunday, but a boy with a head injury died in the rushed evacuation of patients. Parts of the hospital, including the emergency room and reception area, were extensively damaged. The Israeli military claimed they struck a Hamas command and control center in the attack, but offered no evidence. A recovering Pope Francis made an appearance at the Palm Sunday service at the Vatican. Seen in a wheelchair, the 88-year-old pontiff greeted the crowd in St. Peter's Square, wishing them a happy Palm Sunday and a happy Holy Week. Francis also paid a short visit to St. Peter's Basilica. The Pope is recovering after undergoing more than 5 weeks of treatment for pneumonia in both lungs. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. A suspect is now in custody after a politician's house was set aflame. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro's official residence was set on fire, and police say they have a suspect in custody. The governor, who is Jewish, said his family celebrated Passover with friends at the residence. One person is charged with attempted murder, terrorism, and aggravated arson. Investigators say they believe this was a targeted attack, but the motive is unclear. New York Helicopter Tours, the tour company behind last Thursday's deadly helicopter crash in New York City, is shutting down. The Federal Aviation Administration made the announcement on Sunday. The crash killed all 6 people on board, including a family visiting from Spain. The FAA will review the company's license and safety record. At least 6 people were hurt after an explosion leveled a house in Austin. It happened Sunday while 2 people were in the house. 24 homes in the area were damaged from the explosion, and communities as far as 20 miles away heard the blast. Investigators are still trying to figure out what caused the home to explode. Secretary of State Marco Rubio announced that the U.S. has deported what it says are 10 more members of international gangs to El Salvador. The suspected gang members arrived in El Salvador Saturday night. Rubio says the suspects were part of MS-13 or the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. Rubio praised Salvadorian President Nayib Bukele for his cooperation and is set to meet with the president later today. A number of Florida universities are joining a statewide push to partner with Immigration and Customs Enforcement's crackdown on illegal immigration. Among them, the University of Florida, whose administrators signed an agreement Friday allowing local law enforcement to act as immigration officers. The move comes as the Trump administration continues to target foreign nationals affiliated with prestigious American universities. The new Mission Valley Elementary School is almost ready. Construction is now 90% complete. Victoria ISD's March administration report shows the project is not only on track but also staying within budget. The district earned more interest than expected on funds that hadn't been used yet, and now there's enough wiggle room to add brand new playgrounds to the campus. Voters approved the nearly $26 million bond for the new school back in 2021. A ribbon cutting and open house are set for May 22nd. Many oil companies depend on imports targeted by tariffs to sustain their field operations. That's according to trade groups. At least half of critical equipment, including casing that protects drilling equipment, is sourced internationally. You can read this story by the Texas Tribune on crossroadstoday.com. And we want to invite you to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV. Just search through your Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, or Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And now let's get a final look at our forecast and a cloudy sunrise with Parker. How's it looking?
That's right. We do have a little bit of a cloudy sunrise this morning, don't we? Looking live in Port Lavaca, a few clouds, low-level clouds that is forming over us this morning. But I promise you, whatever clouds are out there right now, that's going to be on the decrease, all the way down to some sunny skies. And I don't know what's happening with my station out there, but I could safely say down on the coast this morning, y'all are all starting out in the low 70s this morning, so a tad bit warm down. Actually pretty nice if you ask me. The rest of the crossroads are all starting out today in the mid and upper 60s this morning, so maybe a tad bit cool, maybe like a light jacket you might need, but you'll surely take it off again this afternoon because, like I said, whatever clouds are out there right now, that should decrease all the way down to some mostly sunny and sunny skies for the rest of the day. And that Texas beaming sun is going to bring us a high of about 82 in Port Lavaca. Also underneath the breezy winds gusting to 25 miles an hour at times. A bit warmer in the inland counties. I'm thinking 85 today in Victoria. And a bit warmer than that, Cuero. I'm thinking 87s. And I hope you're getting used to that because we're going to stay just like that all week long with highs sticking in the mid 80s. Even a couple breezy days sprinkled in there. But what's that? You see rain chances at the end of the week.
All right. Thanks for that glimmer of hope,
yeah.
Parker.
I'm excited.
And thank y'all for being with us. Be sure to join Shauna, Don, Maclovio, and Max today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10. And stay tuned to Good Morning America. There are some developing details in that arson case. Have a great day.